Well, hey there. Good morning. Thanks for joining me again. So it's a Sunday in December. It's the last December Sunday we get this year. We're almost at the end of the 2020, thank goodness. So anyway, today's plan is to go outside and play a game of musical vehicles. I've got to move the boat and Jeeps and trucks and cars, and I got 40 acres worth of stuff crammed into a two-car driveway. So I'll show you my plan, and I'm going to go out there and tear into it. I've procrastinated about as long as I can this morning because I'm a little bit nervous. I keep thinking, oh, this is going to be fine, and then I start to think about all the stuff that could go wrong. So what comes to mind is, if you've watched the Top Gear guys, this would be the part where Jeremy Clarkson would say, what could possibly go wrong? And then everything does. So hopefully that won't happen. Hopefully it'll be a good day. We'll just jump into it and I'll bring you along. So if there are shenanigans, you'll be able to get a chuckle at them. All right, folks, well, here we go again with one of my classic drawings, so bear with me. I'm trying to kind of plan the day out here a little bit. Obviously, this is not to scale, but this is the current situation I have. So basically what we've got here is, this is the driveway, and I've got Samantha's Mini parked in the driveway, and I've got the Tacoma parked in the driveway. Inside of the garage, I've got the CJ7 stripped down to basically nothing. Can't steer it because I pulled the steering column out, so that's going to be a little bit of an issue. Got the M3 sitting next to it here, and then on the side of the driveway, I've got the Santana 22 that we're restoring, kind of tarped up for the winter now, in a paused state on that restoration, but we'll come back to that. And then there's a little gate here, and on the side of the garage and the side of the house, this kind of area goes back. This is where the CJ5 is sitting currently, with half of its tires flat on the ground. So what my plan is today is to get this CJ5 and CJ7 swap places, basically. But in order to do that, I've got to get the Mini out, park it on the street. I've got to get the BMW out, park it on the street. Actually, I guess maybe I don't need to do the BMW, but I was kind of thinking, oh, yes, I do. I'll tell you why. This also, I should explain, is on a little bit of a slope, the driveway is here. So my plan is this. The Mini's going to get parked over on the street. The M3 pulls out and gets parked over on the street. Then I'm going to back the Tacoma up, hook it onto the front of the sailboat trailer, pull the sailboat out, park it on the street. Then I'm going to open up the gate here. The CJ5's got the tow hitch on the front of it. I will hook up to it, pull it out, park it on the street. By this point, I think I might need to use the other side of the street. That's a lot of stuff there. Then what I'm thinking I'm going to do is I'm going to put the floor jack under the front differential, and I'm going to kind of point the CJ7 this direction. I've got a tree here and some big old boulders, and then if it gets too far, there's the mailbox out there, which should keep us from having a runaway CJ7 out into the middle of the world. But so my plan is to kind of point this thing as far to the left as I can and still make it outside, or to the right and make it outside of the garage doors. Then I'm going to kind of roll it down here and stop it up against the little curb here where the kind of side area stops. And then I'm going to turn the truck around, and back here in the corner of this area, I've got a tree, and I'm going to put my snatch strap around that, and I'm going to put my winch cable from the truck up here through this, turn around, come down here, basically grab onto the back of the CJ7, pull it back here. Then, if that all goes well, then I hook back onto the sailboat, shove it back in its spot here, hook back onto the tow hook of the CJ5, back it up into the driveway, and then everything else can drive on its own power after that. So that's the plan. None of my plans so far have ever gone to plan, so we'll see how this goes. Not sure if I've really want witnesses to this carnage that's about to take place, but it looks like it's going to be a good day outside. There's no snow on the ground to speak of, so I think I can pull this off. And the only real question mark is once that CJ7 is kind of freewheeling down the sidewalk here, or down the driveway. That's the one thing I'm a little bit worried about, but I kind of have my tire blocks and stuff, and if nothing else, I can kind of block a little bit, move a block, have another block sitting there to stop it, and so forth, so I can kind of walk it down here. So if all this happens, fine, then we'll have the CJ5 up here in the garage, and we'll have the CJ7 over here. We can finish restoring that thing. That's what we've got the tub coming in for, and then when we get the frame and everything for the CJ7, by that point the CJ5 should be driving, and we'll have this area of the driveway open to basically just put the frame in and start building it up and yanking parts out and bringing them in through the door and moving stuff around as we need to. So that's today's plan. I'm going to set a couple of different cameras up on time-lapse so we can see what happens, but hopefully it will go smooth. So let's go see what happens. All right, well, about this stage in the process, one of the neighbor kids stopped by and talked to Jeeps for a while. He's got a CJ7 that he's building for, it sounds like kind of him and his dad are doing a big hardcore rock crawler. They're putting Dana 60 axle in the back and a 9-bolt in the front and making the frame wider to fit them all so they can be really wide. And so not exactly my cup of tea to build them that way, but it was fun to talk another Jeep guy and just get to run down on what he was doing and talk about what I was doing and all that kind of thing. So that was a nice little break. Okay, well, as I said, what my plan was to kind of point the CJ7 at that tree and the mailbox down there. So I basically just picked it up with the floor jack under the front axle and just kind of swung it around a little bit, got it lined up, and then I basically just walked it down the driveway. Now it went pretty good. It was a little stressful, but I would just kind of walk one wheel block forward and then walk the other one forward. And really, once I got on the steep part of the driveway, it was kind of an oh shit moment there for a little bit when I was like, am I going to be able to do this? But it went all right. So got her down the driveway. Well, hey, so I made it. I think the batteries died on both the cameras about halfway through the process, so I don't know how much of this we got on tape, but I started this process at about 10 o'clock today. It's about 3:30 and I've been going non-stop since then. So nothing really went wrong. As you can see, I'm all still in one piece. No Jeeps ran over me or anything. I was able to kind of walk the CJ7 down the hill with my wheel chocks in front of it, and I'd move one and kind of push back on the wheel and roll it back a little bit. So it wasn't horrible. It was pretty exhausting though. And then my plan to winch the thing back up in was shot because I can't find the damn remote for the winch. So I tore the truck apart. I don't know if we took it out somewhere and I just can't find it. I don't think we did. I wondered if somebody at one of the shops decided they needed one or whatever, so I guess I got to buy a new remote. But anyway, thought I'd give you a quick look. Now, pardon the mess, because I just threw all my cables down. I had all my straps out. I wound up using a come-along to just winch the thing back up into the side of the house here. But this is where we wound up. So I got this the CJ5 up in here. I pumped up the tires. They're not going to hold any air, I think, but this poor old thing is dirty and filled with leaves, and yeah, it's got some work to do on this old girl. So there's some rotted fenders there, and so I've ordered fenders and a tub for this. We got a little Bondo here as well, so so anyway, it's in and nothing really went wrong. So I'll start working on this. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go get me some tire dollies so I can have this whole thing on dollies and shove it over a little bit. And then what I did with the other one is I kind of had it, you know, closer to the front of the garage here. So, but anyway, I'm beat. So it's time to go sit my butt down somewhere and have a drink and call this project started. So again, we might have to start a new chapter, but this is the CJ5. Now, I've had this old thing forever, and Randy, the guy that I used to hang out with around here and go four-wheeling with, had a H1 Hummer. So we had our work cut out for us keeping up with that thing with this old girl. But lockers front and back, it was all good. I put the new ARB in this back end. It's got the Dana 44 under here, and I put a new ARB in this one. I had this worked over when I thought I was going to be able to put it under the 7. So I'll need to put a compressor on, but you can see there's a little ding there. You know what happened here is this is from the Golden Crack down there in Moab. I was going through that and I kind of rolled back. So guys that hate automatic transmission or standard transmissions, that's why. Because, you know, if you get off the clutch and not quick enough on the brakes, you roll backwards. So I rolled backwards and hit this reinforced corner here, which kinked the side of the body there. So these were rock crawlers. They weren't mall crawlers. We did a lot of trails in Moab and Colorado and whatnot with this old Jeep. So this girl deserves some love, and she's gonna get some now. So the next chapter has begun.